All righty, folks, and we are live. Welcome to those of you in the webinar, and welcome to those of you joining us on Facebook. I'm Rob Smith. I'm the director for the Center for Urban Research, Teaching, and Outreach at Marquette University, and I am joined with my good partner, Adam Carr. You want to say hello, Adam?
Hey everybody, I'm Adam Carr, and Rob and I, after teaming up to do a series of digital presentations on the open housing marches, have continued that on different topics. We spent June exploring Latinx history in Milwaukee, specifically the story of the Chapman Hall takeover from different angles. And we are excited and hungry this month to have conversations where the entry point is food, but then kind of get into multiple directions. And I will say, I could not be more thrilled to be talking about one of my favorite places in the world with some of my favorite.
Yeah, well, and what gets us into this conversation, folks, obviously we want to continue to build digital modules for our teachers and our students because of the world we're in. That was sort of the impetus for us to do some weekly discussions around local history. For this month in particular, though, we're missing our festivals. We're missing the summers that Milwaukee is known to have, where we have celebrations almost every week. And so to get us started, particularly for the attendees, we have a lot of folks who we know these names. Welcome to everybody. We appreciate you coming on a regular basis. Let's get started, though, with the folks in the attendees, the folks on Facebook. Tell us a little bit, drop in the chat, the festivals that you're missing the most right now. And we're gonna get our panelists introduced and whatnot as Adam takes the quarterback role. But for the folks who are joining us, start giving us some information about which of the festivals are you missing in this particular moment. I think to start with, I am just missing the overall flavor of a summer that would include at any given moment an awesome cultural festival, regular bands and what are those things in the blanks in the park, whatever park you can come up with, music in the park, jazz in the park, kicking it in the park. I'm just missing the whole vibe of the summer. So to get our participants and attendees and folks on Facebook involved, drop in the chat those things that you're missing in terms of festivals. Adam, why don't you start talking about who our awesome guests are real quick?
Actually, I'm not going to do that at all.
You're not?
Regent CK and Cindy and Jorge Lopez are phenomenal. Why don't you guys offer a quick introduction of yourselves? So tell us a little bit about who you are. And let's start.
I'm Jorge Lopez, my wife Cindy. We run Lopez Bakery and Restaurant on Mitchell Street. We're a family business. My parents started it back in 1973 after immigrating from Mexico. My dad literally came to this country with $20 in his pocket.
Hey, Jorge, we're going to get more into that. So save some of that for the next section.
Okay. We operate Lopez Bakery here on the south side.
Excellent.
And excuse me, I might have to go in and out.
I totally understand.
Cool. Well, hi, everyone. Yeah. My name is CK Ledesma. I am a community artist and cultural connector. Oh, wait.
You're on.
Can you hear me? Oh.
Yep.
And I organize a thing called Cosecha Creative Space that was birthed in 2017 through an artist residency. And my connection to Mitchell Street is that I was resident in 2018 in the Mitchell Street Library. So that's me. Hi, friends. Good to see everyone.
Last but not least, Mr. Arijit Sen.
Hi, I'm Arijit. I teach in the Architecture and Urban Studies program at UWM. I guess that's it.
Arijit, just say real quick. I mean,
there's more. Yeah, come on.
What are your expertise? I feel like I will say I owe to you some of my understanding of Mitchell Street just from some of the brilliance that you shared with me just in how you look at the city.
I study urban spaces. I'm an urban historian, and I have been looking at spaces such as Devon Avenue, Mitchell Street, traditional immigrant housing spaces. That's one of my research areas, looking at immigrant cultural landscapes. So that's what I do. But I also spend a lot of time, we were talking about summer. What I miss is my festival, which used to be something called the Buildings, Landscapes, Cultures Field School. We would go over to Washington Park, and we would go to Sherman Park, and my students and community members tell stories of those neighborhoods. So while you guys are missing the American food and Trickleby's food and Hmong Cultural Association's grandma's cooking, all that good stuff that we used to eat every day, really missing that.
For sure. CK or Jorge, do you want to share a festival that you're particularly missing this summer?
Well, for me, I kind of miss the church festivals. You know, that's always been part of communities and neighborhoods. You know, each one brings their own different little flair and, you know, flavor. And those were always fun to go to, you know, support the local community.
Yeah, I'm really missing the River West 24. I'm not sure if that's a festival, but it's more like a community event where people come together and we're all on our bikes outdoors for a full weekend. The weather has been kind of weird, but yeah, the River West 24, just being in River West with the community, with a bunch of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, the people's holidays. I miss it a lot.
You know, Adam, we're getting some folks giving us some ideas in the chat. Street Fest, Pride Fest, Indian Summer, Bastille Days would have been this week. Yeah, this is we're certainly missing that, and we thank you all for sharing those.
What I will quickly offer as a thing that I miss, and this is foreshadowing for later, is the Sun Fair. And I'm not going to go into deep detail about, because I'll be talking about it more later, but I think for me, the Sun Fair on Mitchell Street kind of marked the beginning of summer for me. It was usually kind of the first festival, and it was one that's very unique. And I'll get much more into that in one of the subsequent sections. So let's, Keisha, can we move to our next slide?